there, thank you for stopping by to share with Julie today. I hope you're having a fantabulous day today. So I was asked a question about making one's own capsule, and I figured I would do a video basically looking at you've decided to make your own capsule. What's the next step? What you'll do next? And so the first thing that because there are certain things that I think you should take into consideration, and I'll just look at them in about 3 or 4 steps. And step one is that firstly you should determine what size capsule you wish to use. Um, the capsule sizes vary. You will see in this chart. From the chart, you saw, capsule size ranging from 000, which was the bigger of the sizes, to number 5, which was the smaller size. So the higher the number is, the smaller the capacity of the capsule. Right. So decide on which size, and you probably would take this into consideration, that the fact that the most capsule sizes used are the 00, and the size 00, and the size 0, or some people will say 00 and 0. So those are two of the more popular sizes, but choose according to what you feel comfortable with. Some people don't like to swallow large capsules or a pill. If you prefer one of the smaller sizes, go with those. Just go with what you feel more comfortable with. So be mindful in terms of types of capsule. Not all capsule are plant-based. There are most of the capsule on the market, in fact, are derived from derived from animal products. So bear that in mind. And so when you're buying, you could just make note to ensure that you get the plant-based capsules, because those are also very easy to get. The next step is determining how many capsules you want to fill. Do you want to do 30? Do you want to do 50, 100, 200? How many do you want to make? Step 3 is deciding how many herbs you'll use. Will you just be doing one type of herb? For example, maybe you're doing just dandelion capsules, or maybe you want to combine 2 herbs or 3 herbs, or how many. So the next step is deciding how many herbs are you going to use. So the next step, I think this is the 4th step. The 4th step is determining what quantity of herb that you will need. And this is where your capsule table comes in, your capsule capacity table. Because what it does is that it gives you an idea of the capacity, how much each capsule can hold, in terms of milligrams, how many it can hold in terms of milligrams. And then you could use that to help you to determine approximately how much herbs you'll need. So just take a brief look at the capsule capacity table. So that table gives you an idea of how much each individual capsule will hold. So because some herbs are more dense, you'll find that you have to put more in terms of weight value in a particular capsule for some herbs than others. It's the same thing of taking two teaspoons of herbs, and they might be the same exact size, but one might be a little bit heavier than another, because one is more dense. So that is the reasoning behind those different figures, because different herbs have a different density. And for example, if you're using size 0, for example, if you're using that size, you say work with 544. I would say work with the second figure, with whichever capsule size you decide to use. So maybe you're working with a figure of 544 milligrams for each capsule. So work with a figure of, if you're doing size O, whichever size, take the second value, and work with it, because I think for most of your herbs and leaves combined, or even if you're doing them individually, I think that should be a fair figure to work with. A fair figure to work with, but it's an estimate. Because at the end of the day, you won't know exactly. So you could work with, I don't think you'd need the herbs and the bark will not be or rather the leaves and the bark and the flower shouldn't be so dense that you need to use the last figure on the bottom. And I think the top figure would be probably cutting it a bit too tight. So maybe the second or third figure. But for this, I'm just going to explain an example now using the second figure. So for example, say you've chosen a size 0 capsule, and that you're going to make, and say you're going to make 100, right? And you're working with a capacity of milligram for each of 544 milligrams. So that would give you would multiply, because it's each capsule's capacity is 544 milligrams. So you would multiply that by 100 to get how much in terms of milligram you would need. So that would give you 54,400 milligrams. So that would be 54,400 milligrams, or if we convert it to grams, that would be 54.4 grams that you'll be working with. So then the next step is determining how much of each individual herbs that you will need. So if you're just using one herb, then that entire 54.4 grams will be that one herb. If you're using two herbs, then you would divide that by 2. If you're using 3 herbs, you divide it by 3. If you're using 4 herbs, you divide it by 4 to know individually how much of each individual herbs you will need. So just bear in mind that these are approximations, but they're also good figures to work with. you have to give and take a little bit on in terms of the figure. It will not be exact, so just bear that in mind. But still, you will have, you know, some idea of the ranges within which you could work. So there you have it. I hope you found this useful. Subscribe to my channel, like and share my videos. Don't forget, be the change you'd like to see in this world. Have a fantabulous day today. Ta-ta!